Hello and welcome everyone, my name is Scrollberg and this is going to be a Betrayal farm guide / review where I'm gonna talk about different guides for Betrayal that are available on the internet. We're gonna talk about the talents that are available on our Atlas tree and how can you ramp your Betrayal up, which talents are bad, which talents are good, just in general how the mechanic works for anyone who is not familiar with it, what was reworked in the previous, in the current league, and just in general we're gonna talk about this mechanic quite thoroughly. So this video may be quite a long one. I've warned you. So this is all on your all on your behalf. Now let's talk about the Betrayal itself. Here's the talents that these are all the talents that are available if you want to spec into Betrayal. And as you can see here, so the route here is not specifically for the build. It is just for you to show all the talents for them to be quite visible. It is not a talent intensive mechanic, so it doesn't really require a lot of talents. You cannot really spec into it as heavily as, for example, something like Expedition or maybe something like Legion. So it ends because it is a master mission, or previously was a master mission, and now they're kind of like all tied together. But just in general, this is somewhat of a complementary league mechanic that you probably are gonna focus on with some other stuff. So I'm gonna have some Atlas trees linked in the pinned comment below the video, so you can use them, and they're probably gonna be tied to some other mechanics by any means. So yeah, now basically just in general, what is the Betrayal? And Immortal Syndicate or Betrayal League was added quite a long time ago. It is this big chart where you are trying to investigate the Syndicate, you are trying to investigate different types of missions, you are fighting with these bosses that are all the leaders of Syndicate, and then you're of course reaping all the rewards whenever you're going into their safe houses. And then there's Mastermind, which is a pseudo pinnacle boss fight where you can farm pretty powerful chase uniques. You can farm some additional currency from some specific currency, I would say. And this is it when it comes to Syndicate. So just in general, your maps can contain some different types of missions, and they will, if you have Syndicate encounter in your map, you will have 3 out of 4 possible encounters. There are transportation, fortification, research, and intervention. So intervention is whenever these guys attack you, they just spawn whenever you hit some rare enemy, or you're doing some any other stuff inside your map. Research is whenever you're diving into this like laboratory, you are navigating through it quite quickly and you're focusing the Syndicate member in there. Fortification is when there is like this castle standing and you need to break through the doors and kill the members inside. And transportation is whenever the guys from the Syndicate try to transport the thing from one point to another in your map. They have this like caravan and you need to assassinate them as fast as possible before they reach their encounter. So this is basically it when it comes to the mechanic itself, just gameplay wise. Then there is the board, and with the board you have to navigate through it. So basically whenever you're gonna encounter all these guys, you will have different ways to interact with them. As you can see here, interrogate, betray, execute, release, or all that stuff. And you will make you will get them in different positions in your like the Syndicate chart, and by that you will of course manipulate the rewards that you're gonna get whenever you're gonna go into their syndicates. So this is it when it comes to the mechanic itself. It is quite complicated, so basically for anyone who is not familiar with it, you will have to understand how this works, which things you need to do with different guys in the syndicate, and it is not the most straightforward mechanic. So if you're not interested in that, just just don't listen to this video. It's not for you, because and by the way, the mechanic itself, after you understand how to manipulate it, it is still just an automatic thing. You will do everything without any thinking. It's not really some science, but you need to understand the way that it works first, and then after that you can just automate yourself and be very familiar with it. Now, when it comes to other guides that are present on the internet, there are two, if we're not talking about videos, because videos I'm not really looking at some work of other YouTube content creators, but in terms of just like reading guides, there is one on Maxroll, and then there is another one on POV Vault, which POV Vault 1 was updated February 4th, 2022, which means that, yeah, it is not really recent, so you just can ignore it completely. It is completely out of date. Yeah, there is some info about some stuff, but like this thing or everything here is completely outdated. There is not that much specificity. There is no Atlas talent tree, because there was no Atlas talent tree at that time, at least not in the way that it is currently presented. There is this like a guide for the fight with Mastermind, where, yeah, you need to go to the squares, you need to activate them, do all that stuff, but yeah, you can find it anywhere else. So we're gonna use mostly the wiki itself, the PoE planner, just to look at the talents, and we're gonna look at the Maxroll guide just in case what's being telegraphed to the people who are reading it. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at it. Now, when it comes to rewards, because I think that it is the first thing that you are interested, as someone who doesn't know anything about the mechanic, and you want to know, can you even farm anything good out of it? You probably need to understand the rewards first. They were updated with this particular league at 3.26. It was one of the biggest reworks of mechanics. So currently, you can for sure, first thing first, you can farm the Mastermind, the final boss. You can either sell the invitation to fight that boss to other people who run it and who want to fight it. It will probably cost some pretty good amount of currency, or you can run it in order to have the ability to be lucky and find a good item that drops from the Mastermind, and Katarina has some pretty good items dropping from her. Of course, there is Veiled Exalted Orbs, there is Veiled Chaos Orbs as well, that drop from the Immortal Syndicate, which are very valuable currencies, and it depends on how fast you can do every just in general your encounters in maps, how fast can you do all the safe houses, but in general the rewards are present in this mechanic for sure, so it is quite profitable to farm it. But it all depends on your build, so you need to understand that if you want to farm Katarinas, and for example, if you want to buy those invitations, then you need pretty good bossing build. If you want to farm just in general Betrayal League as the league in your atlas while you're mapping, then you need quite fast build, and you still need the build that has pretty decent single target, just in general, not to have any problems while you're dealing with the syndicate members inside those encounters, because some of those encounters are quite time. It's not like currently there are many builds that are as slow so that you cannot really complete the research mechanic, for example, where you need to dive into the lab, but still you need quite fast builds, like kind of fast, that will have enough damage and speed in order to go through the transportation mechanic and go through the research mechanic. And you need some survivability not to die while there is an intervention mechanic, because with intervention, if you die, then those guys from Immortal Syndicate, they vanish and you cannot really do anything. And for sure, you need to you need to be a high level. You need to farm high level, high tier maps, because as you can see here, even in here, in addition to their respective rewards, safe house leaders have a chance to drop veiled chaos orbs, which are very good, and at area level plus also has a chance to drop syndicate medallion, which is of course a map fragment required to access the mastermind encounter, so you need to farm high tier maps. Additionally, safe house leaders at area level 78 plus have a chance to drop an exclusive veiled unique item. The specific unique item that can drop depends on the safe house division. And transportation, it's Hyperboreus, the Crimson Storm, Vivid Sect, and then Paradoxica, which is very valuable. And I'm not as sure, to be honest. I probably need to look at the prices for these particular uniques, but just in general, Paradoxicas can be quite powerful items, and some other stuff on here as well. So yeah, this is in general the rewards that are not tied to some particular members of the syndicate. And now let's have a quick look at the syndicate members and specific ones that you are most interested in, that you want to farm. Basically, at intervention, most of the basically all of them drop scarabs, and you can see here that like the scarab drops are quite random, but there are some, of course, like divination scarabs, for example, that are way more potent in terms of the rewards that are gonna be from those scarabs. So basically, you need to constantly check the PoE Ninja scarab market prices and understand which ones of the agents you need to have in intervention, which types of scarabs can be more valuable at some particular point of time, and then reposition your agents, your syndicate members to the intervention, including that knowledge. Because even if I tell you that at day 4 currently, like, I don't know, maybe Delirium and Divination scarabs are very good, Cartography scarabs are very good, then like 1 week passes and people start farming Ambush, there is some broken new strat to farm, for example, Ambush or Blight, or doesn't matter what, and the value of scarabs shift. You need to be quite agile when it comes to the intervention, and you need to compare the regular rewards from these 3 other places, and then think about which ones of these syndicate members are best to get into intervention. So that's that. When it comes to scarabs, they are the most like shifty rewards that you can probably imagine. And then when it comes to the agents themselves, so Aisling, I'm gonna probably butcher some of these names, I'm sorry. So as Aisling, she has crafting bench with Veiled Exalted Orb, crafting bench with crafting currency, including Orb of Annulment, Exalted Chaos, and Veiled Chaos, and items with 2 Veiled mods. So items with 2 Veiled mods can be quite powerful and can be quite expensive, but you need to get lucky as well. And these 2 things, crafting benches, they are more for SSF, at least in my experience, in my opinion. They are very great to craft with whenever you are in solo self-found mode and you don't have this like big access to these, but in order for you to craft something good for Trade League, it is very unlikely. It is like way lower chance. So for fortification and research, Aisling is not the best. And when it comes to 2 Veiled mod items, it is kind of a gamba. So you can do that. You can skip it. It depends. Torment scarabs, though, you need to know the current situation for scarabs in order to know if the intervention is good for that. So yeah. Then Chimera is transportation Abyss scarabs with fortification, trapped chest with cluster jewel, and crafting bench with cluster jewel for research. So this is yet again cluster jewels. You can craft something interesting, but it is again more about it's it is very unlikely that these are going to be the best. Abyss Scarabs can be quite good, and Delirium Scarabs for sure are some of the pretty good ones, because many people farm Delirium. Delirium just in general as a mechanic is quite popular. Abyss can be utilized in many different mechanics where you need to juice up for example, Delirium, so they can be quite powerful as well, but I'm not sure about the current situation. So yet again, Scarabs, you need to understand, you need to know the market in the current time, because I'm not sure when you're gonna watch this video. Maybe it's going to be in 2 or 3 or 5 months from the moment where I'm doing it, and some stuff changed. Now, Elrion. Random fragments, trapped chest with corrupted equipment, and crafting bench with a corrupted item and tainted chaos orbs, tainted exalted orbs, and tainted divine teardrops. So this is random fragments. Is mostly just very bad. Fortification, trapped chest with corrupted equipment. Yet again, completely bad. Beyond Scarabs, on the other way, are pretty decent, which, yeah, you can think about them as a... If you want to have Elrion, then probably Intervention is somewhat of a good place. Crafting bench with corrupted items and tainted corrupt Chaos Orb. This one is somewhat okay, because there can be an item with good stats that you can craft, or with good corrupted implicit that you can craft, that you can sell then, because yeah, this one can at least have pretty high budget outcome, but it is yet again quite random. So, but this like trap chest with corrupted equipment is not really that good. Then Gravicious. Chest contains full stack of divination card, can also drop stacked decks. Trap chest with divination cards. Crafting bench that swaps one divination card with another. So Gravicious is always very good. Just in general, you probably always want to have him on your syndicate board. Divination scarabs are great, so Gravicious is the first like 100% taker. You want to have him. Then Guff gives you random currency in transportation, trap chest with rare equipment in fortification, crafting bench with a ring and some crafting currency, including a reflecting mist in research, and blight scarabs. Random currency is pretty good because there can be quite valuable one. Trap chest with rare equipment, let's be real here, not that much. Crafting bench with a ring and some crafting currency, including a reflecting mist. It's somewhat okayish, especially on the start of the league. It may be more powerful, but just in general, transportation is probably the place for him. Blight scarabs really depends on how Blight feels itself, but still can be quite good. So yeah, but random currency is probably most likely where the Guff goes. Then Haku with random unique strongbox, domination scarabs, crafting bench with an item and crafting currency, including several types of influenced exalted orbs, and several Hinekoras locks. So research with Haku is very, very good. And yeah, like an item with crafting currency, it still can be pretty bad, but at least the odds of getting something very powerful here are way higher than something like even like Guff or Chimeria. So yeah, this one, very powerful. Hinekora's locks, specifically Domination Scarabs, are quite good. So you probably want Haku on your board as well, because he has like two types of different scarabs, and ambush scarabs are quite, at least they were quite popular in previous leagues. So you have this one. This guy is very versatile. You can swap him in different places if you need to, and he has pretty interesting crafting bench for research. Then for Hillock, trap chest with Shaper, Elder, Conqueror's Exalted Orbs. These are massive and you really, really want them. Crafting bench with influenced item, so. Crafting bench with for Eldritch Implicits as well. Pretty interesting, pretty powerful stuff. Influencing Scarabs can be quite powerful, so Hillock you probably want to have as well. But yeah, and I know that I'm talking quite early for the rewards structure, but you need to know what you can get out of it before we are talking about the strategies on how to set up everything and how to do everything, because without this information, it's kind of useless for you to, because if you don't know what you're getting out of this, maybe there's like 80% of crap and then just something useful. It wouldn't be really good. Now, when it comes to Eat That Flat, it breach corrupted maps. Interactable, which adds Breachstone, Enriched Breachstone, Pure Breachstone map device crafting options for Breachstones. This one is very, very good in Trade League. Of course, specifically if you can farm these. But yeah. Especially if you can farm this, but maybe you're gonna farm them on some other characters again. But this one is very good. It gives you, like, if you have high many stars, Eat That Flat and Pure Breachstones are pretty good. Crafting bench with tainted socket currency. To be honest, I'm not as, because this I'm not sure how powerful that it really is. But it can be an okay thing. To be honest, with how the 5 to 6 links are getting very cheap pretty fast when it comes down when it comes a bit later to the league, it's probably not the best one out of these. And then Breach Scarabs, which are always very powerful. Breach is something that people farm quite a lot, but again, this one here in particular is quite good. Breach corrupted mobs, especially if you're farming Breach, are going to be additionally good as well. Then Janus, probably Janus piles of gold if you want some additional gold farm. Kalguran Scarabs, which are, I guess, gonna be pretty good this league, because the mechanic of King's March has been added to the full, and people are using that mechanic probably quite extensively. So Kalguran Scarabs, and yet again, 2 Scarabs it is already pretty good, so you probably want Janus to have. Then Kadira Brandes, that trades unique items for gold, and this one in particular can trade you very, very unique, very, very rare uniques. They cost a lot of gold, and GGG even had the patch in order to scale down the amount of gold that those uniques, the tier 0 uniques, can cost you. So this is potentially very powerful if you are lucky enough, but I for sure see Janus being in research for everyone, but you need to farm a lot of gold. And especially if you need more gold, then transportation for Janus will be quite useful for you too. Expedition Scarabs are always going to be in demand, because Expedition is one of the mechanics that many, many people use. So Janus is yet again someone that you probably don't want to skip. With Jorgen, we start with Sulfite Scarabs, and you need to know that while we are looking at this, you need to balance out your board somewhat with different amount of syndicate members in different types of encounters. So you want some people in transportation, some people in fortification, some in research, and some in intervention. And you need to look at where these additional scarabs are placed, so that if you have a lot of competition, for example, like research is going to be highly competitive. Intervention is going to be highly competitive. Then transportation and fortification, they are sometimes kind of like can be meh. So someone who has pretty good scarab in the fortification or transportation can be a very powerful and good pick for you to have. Just if you don't really have anything else that is good in that for that particular position, or if other guys that have good rewards in transportation or fortification, just have way better rewards in intervention and research, your transportation and fortification still can be quite like empty. So with Jorgen, it's Sulfite Scarabs, Trap Chest with Delve equipment, which is yet again very meh. Crafting Bench with a Talisman. Can be potent, but most often are not. And Bestiary Scarabs can be very good as well. Then Corel, Anarchy Scarabs, Trapped Chest with Essence equipment. Crafting Bench with Essences. So yeah, Essences just in general. Many people farm Essences at the start of the league. It is just a staple for for anyone who is like starting their league properly. Many people take them, so probably chest with essence equipment is not going to give you a lot of essences, and crafting bench with essences can be very good for SSF, not really for trade league. And essence scarabs, these are pretty good. So anarchy scarabs, essence scarabs for Corel, these are the things that you probably want to look at him. And yet again, both are pretty good, so you probably still want him in your chart, even though these two are like very, very bad. Then with Leo, it's Incursion Scarabs, Trap Chest with Corrupted Uniques, Crafting Bench with a unique item and a stack of Gene-Touched Vol Orb, and Ultimatum Scarabs. So, Gene-Touched Vol Orbs. This is a very interesting thing. Corrupts a unique item, modifying it unpredictably, can modify corrupted items. Items corrupted this way can have up to 2 implicit modifiers, which means that this one can produce some completely insane items, completely insane uniques that you can get just like an enormous amount of like exalts, chaoses, divines from. So you probably you're very interested in having Leo in research, and this is a new function that was added in 3.26. It is a very good stuff. So multiple corrupts that you can just add into the item consistently. Yes, item can still break, but it is an option, and I'm sure that people will farm Betrayal for this one in particular as well. Trap Chest with Corrupted Uniques, come on. Incursion Scarabs, I'm not sure if they are that good, but I'm not, I haven't touched Incursion in quite a long time. And Ultimatum Scarabs can be, I'm not sure about them as well. I'm more sure about like Delirium, Divination Scarabs, Expedition Scarabs, Anarchy Scarabs, Breach Scarabs, stuff like that, rather than like Ultimatum and Incursion that are way more like niche, I would say so. And then Riker with unique items in transportation. Yeah, it can be like an okay. At least it's not corrupted uniques. They can drop pretty rare ones. Trap Chest with uniques. Yeah, again, something similar to the previous option. Crafting Bench with a unique item and stacks of Ancient Orb. So this one can produce you something valuable as well, but it is very luck dependent. Still, Ancient Orbs, trying to get that type of a base that is very... If you get a good base for unique items and you have a stack of stacks of Ancient Orbs, it can be quite profitable as well. So Riker is very... he's very competitive for research plays as well. And then Titanic Scarabs. Now with Rin, we have Map Currency, which, probably not gonna be the best currency. Trap Chest with unique maps, which can be very good, especially like on SSF. This one in particular is like so powerful because you will get a lot of... You don't have that good of an access to unique maps, so for your Atlas progression it is just so priceless. For trade league, still can bring pretty good stuff. For example, it's not even comparable when it to like Trap Chest with rare equipment from Gav. Like Rin is way better in fortification. Then we have Crafting Bench with a map and crafting currencies such as Orb of Alchemy, Chaos Orb, Orb of Horizon, and Maven Chisels. Yeah, that's okay, but no, not as competitive as other stuff that you have. And cartography scarabs, very powerful, very like pricey, can be good. So she is pretty, Rin is pretty competitive for intervention. And now with Tora, it's quality gems and Facetter's Lens. Facetter's Lens are the currency that you can use in order to transport some experience to other gems. So add stored experience to a gem up to its maximum level. It's quite good as well. Quality gems, quite often pretty, like they can give you an additional influx of some reliable chaos trap chest with gems. But still can drop like empowers and stuff. So crafting bench with a gem, with a stack of gem cutter's prism, a Facetter's Lens containing 180 million XP, a Valorb, and a stack of currency that modifies a gem into a random gem. Now this one in particular as well, very, very competitive. You can get something pretty rare, something pretty meta, especially with currency that modifies into random gems. So you can re-roll the gem itself. You can have a gem for yourself if you are lucky. Gem cutter prism. So yeah, this one is pretty stable. Although it may it may result in, if many people farm Syndicate, it may result in the situation where those gems that are like 20% quality, level 20, level 21, corrupted ones are not as expensive because many people use this mechanic, but still pretty good. So pretty good in research and pretty good in transportation. Now ritual scarabs, yet again more dependent if ritual is meta. If ritual has some good expensive scarabs, then for sure. With Vagan, it is Harbinger scarabs for transportation, which is almost always pretty good. Then it is unclear what is in fortification, and to be honest, I'm not sure if it was reworked. I haven't touched as much Betrayal currently. Crafting bench with an item, stacks of crafting orbs, and a fracturing orb. So the fracturing orb craft can be one of the most powerful in the game, and fracturing orbs are quite expensive. So this one, if you know how to craft, this one can be very powerful. And Legion scarabs are almost always good. You can sell them. They are in demand. Although it does not really mean that there is a lot of like very expensive ones. And then with Vorici, stack of currency can be pretty good in transportation if you're lucky. Crafting bench to color socket link your equipment. This one is more for SSF, better for SSF. But if you have some like high tier uniques, and those uniques that are meta uniques, you can just socket link them, and this way you will generate even more currency for yourself whenever you will try to then sell like 5-6 links. Crafting bench for a white item and stacks of Orb of Chance and Orb of Scouring. Okay, so and here it is a crafting. Oh my god. Yeah, it's just for you to have basically a chance to get pretty good high tier unique through chancing. Yeah, chancing. It is for the basically just like chancing the base. Yeah, that's kind of meh. So these two, and specifically like this one, is better. Harvest Scarabs, it is a decently popular league as well. So yeah, but Vorici, you probably want to have him as well. Alrighty, so it is like already 30 minutes me talking about Betrayal, and it's only the rewards and the general structure of the league. Now let's talk about how it works in general. So just the basic stuff. The basic stuff when it comes to the board is you want to have as high tier syndicate members as possible whenever you're raiding their safe house. So you need 3 stars, you want 2 stars, 3 stars, as much of them. You want as much rivalry, so these like red red ropes between them. These are good because whenever the syndicate member has some rivalry with other guys, they will come. They have higher chance to come whenever you have like this particular guy, which means that you will have higher spawn rate of different guys in general. So yeah, that's it. That's like the most basic one. Then there is friendships that are green ones, which can be pretty useful as well sometimes, but mostly you want rivalries. And in general, these are gonna be the things that you prioritize. Then how can you transport them? How can you like basically juggle them between different types of safe houses? You will have options here to betray different types of members, especially whenever they have like rivalries, whenever they have different types of interconnections between them. They will quite often want to swap their position, and that's how you want to build your layout of these members. So yeah, that's like the bare bones explanation that I can give you about that. Now let's talk about some talents. So the talents here, let's just like go pretty fast through them. So the Obsessed with Vengeance, your maps have higher chance to contain June, and Scarabs are higher chance to be Betrayal. So this cluster is one of the main clusters for you to have higher spawn rate. You need to take it if you want more Syndicate. But yeah, if you want to use use different scarabs, you may alter some parts of your Atlas tree for sure. But just in general, if you want to spawn a Betrayal through the Atlas, this one in particular is one of the biggest ones. Then bribery. Immortal Syndicate members in your maps are 200% more likely to offer to bargain for items. Immortal Syndicate members in your maps drop 200% more items when bargained with for items. So this will increase quite highly your drop rates of veiled items, currency in your maps themselves. So it's not for safe houses. It's not for you to have a better access to safe house rewards of your syndicate members. It is for you just to have more raw currency and like potentially good items with veiled items just whenever you're mapping inside the maps themselves. The small ones here gives you additional chance to drop a veil item, chance to contain June, drop additional veil item, and here we have Immortal Syndicate members in your maps are 100% more likely to be accompanied by their leader. Immortal Syndicate leaders in your maps drop an additional veiled item. So this one is very good because you want to have your leaders to be like high amount of stars, as high rank as possible. So this one you just basically have to take if you want to farm Betrayal for the safe house rewards, and you want to run safe houses consistently and get all the good loot from that. You need to have this one because otherwise you just may not be able to get all the required levels of ranks of your safe house members. Now when it comes to pillage and plunder, Syndicate members obtain an additional equipment item when appearing in your map. Increase rarity of items from defeated Syndicate members in your maps per equipment item they have. So with equipment items, Syndicate members become way more deadlier. Sometimes, especially like for people who play hardcore, you don't really want a lot of items on the Syndicate members because then they can reap you, then they can kill you, especially if you don't have enough chaos resistance and there is Tora in your Syndicate board. But for softcore, this is like way, of course, you're gonna probably one-shot them or be very close to one-shotting, so them having items is not as much of a problem. Increasing rarity from defeated Syndicate members per item they have is pretty good one, again for additional rewards just in the maps themselves, and again more chance to contain June. Remember, you don't need more than 100% just in general. It's not a Legion, and you probably really can't have more than 100% because it's not like with Legion where you can spawn additional Legion in the same map. It doesn't work like that with Betrayal. Immortal Syndicate members executed in your maps have 100% chance to gain an additional rank. This one is crucial for your success when it comes to raiding safe houses. You need to have this because otherwise you just may not be able to kill them fast enough, to execute them fast enough for them to get all the ranks required. So this one, just test of loyalty, you really need to have it. And then when it comes to the lethal extraction, the last one, this one was reworked in this patch in 3.26 because before it was just giving you steady progress towards the mastermind. Currently, mastermind, you cannot progress towards it. It is a random drop from safe houses. So executing Immortal Syndicate members in your maps grants intelligence to their current division equal to 2 times their rank. So whenever you're executing them, so which means that you give them higher ranks, which have pretty good synergy with test of loyalty. Whenever you do that, you are not generating the intelligence itself, because you are doing the other way. It is whenever you interrogate them, you get the intelligence, and here you will basically just passively get safe house progression, because whenever you are executing them, you're still having this like progression. And then Immortal Syndicate members in your maps have increased chance to be accompanied by reinforcements, which is as well very, very powerful. So you really need to take this one. So in general in this place, it's like somewhat iffy, not iffy, but if you're more focused on the rewards from safe houses themselves, then pillage and plunder and to lesser extent bribery are optional. I would say pillage and plunder is more optional, and bribery on the second part. And as well, they have, as you can see here, they have like this like synergy as well, with more items dropping from them, having more rarity as well. But I would say that if you're interested in farming this, if you're interested in farming the mechanic itself, you probably really want to have everything just up, because you're gonna spend a lot of time killing them, and you're gonna kill a lot of them. And they can drop pretty good, some additional like rewards, especially if your maps are juiced and maybe you're like running Delirium on top of that, stuff like that. Now let's go for the Betrayal Farming League. From the Max Roll itself, author is Zen M. This guide is about basics for farming them. Is part of the masters. Yeah, so this one we already talked about. Interrogate, execute. So yeah, let's talk just pretty fast about interrogation, execution, bargain, and betrayal. Interrogate always available. Reduces the member's rank by 1, provides intelligence towards the safe house over 3 turns. The higher the member's rank, the more intelligence they grant toward. Yeah, so this is basically the interrogate is the option for you to progress towards the safe house encounter the fastest. Execute increases the member's rank, so better rewards. Only possible as an option if there is another member witnessing the execution. Then bargain offers one of several possible outcomes: drop currency or veiled items. So yeah, this was one where we can improve it with our talents. Gain safe house intelligence. Member leaves the Immortal Syndicate or switches division with another member. For that, you quite often need for them to have some relationships with other ones for them to leave. They can leave just by themselves because like they don't want to be there anymore. But mostly it's if you want to kick someone out of your syndicate and you need someone who is not in there, then you need to create a rivalry between one and another, and then the possible outcome for them offering you to leave the syndicate will be way higher. Trusted relationships between members make them show up together during an encounter more often. Yeah, and the most unique outcome of a bargain is to recruit a member to a division and become trusted with them. Yeah, so this one, it is how you do the green ropes between them. Betray only possible if there are two members defeated after the encounter that are not already rivals, turning them into rivals, which is becoming rivals makes them show up together during an encounter more often. Some of the possible outcomes of these options are steal ranks from other member, gain intelligence on another division, remove a member from the syndicate. So yeah, you are interested in bargaining, betraying, you are interested in making relationships for them to spawn off more often. With syndicates itself, I don't think there's anything useful that I can talk from this text. So Mastermind, the ultimate boss, yeah. We've already talked how she spawns, and by the way, yes, after defeat, Katarina drops one of the boss specific items, veiled items, and all flame embers. Additionally, it is the only source of veiled exalted orbs. So all flame embers and veiled exalted orbs are very, very good, and embers are currently is the part of the strategy of a lot of strategies for farming completely insane amounts of loot. So this will be probably in demand for sure anyways. Veiled items, yeah, it's just hidden modifiers that you can after you can take 1 out of 3 mods. Now, how to run it. So the most efficient way to farm Betrayal is to first focus on setting up your board, completing as many safe houses per hour as possible with desired high rank members in each divisions, which is quite obvious. The most optimal way to set up your board is to first choose which 14 out of 17 syndicate members you want to have on the board. Yeah, randomly add the 3. So basically how to remove them we already know. This makes it so that every time syndicate member shows up in the map has chance to be accompanied by rivals. So yeah, again about the rivalry. Then run the map normally until you find defeat all syndicate members in that encounter, check all the choices presented, decide to do, find the remaining syndicate encounters, repeat this in the next map, rank up as many desired syndicate members to rank 3. So yeah, you will probably want to have as much of them being rank 3, but you'll probably don't have everyone. So yeah, because you need to get intelligence, you need to interrogate them, you will not have all the time in the world in order to just completely set up every single one of them. Yeah, enter the same safe house. So 5522 setup. This setup refers to the amount of syndicate members in each division and allows you to farm the chosen 2 divisions more efficiently. Using this setup, you will only farm the rewards provided by the 4 syndicate members, but it's much easier to put them in the desired safe houses. This results in farming them extremely often. So, choose 2 divisions in which you want to progress the safe houses and 2 in which you never run a safe house. Put the least desired 10 syndicate members in 2 divisions in which you never want to run a safe house. Rank up the remaining 4 syndicate members and use them to progress the desired 2 safe houses. Reach 100 intelligence, enter the safe house, reap the rewards. So yeah, and this again depends quite highly on types of rewards that are going to be the most valuable in the current time, in the current place. So these 2s are most likely are most likely tied to research and intervention, but it may depend yet again on types of syndicate members or strategies that you want to take, because it is all tied to your to the rewards that you want to take. But most likely research is very, very powerful, and intervention, scarabs, is just very, very reliable. Things here are more iffy, like fortification is mostly filled with bad stuff, mostly, and transportation is like somewhat of a 50-50, but again, because you will have like this very limited amount of syndicate members that you have and very limited amount of manipulation that you can do with the board, you will probably take research and intervention and just go with them, as it is most likely to happen, and it most often happens. Now, when it comes to passives, what are they saying about them? So, upset with the Vengeance, it's more June. That's just for you to have 100%. You're probably taking you're taking it. Bribery. That's for the bargaining. Increase the chance you're offered syndicates, which makes you drop such little currency. So as you can see here, there is like no real advice if you need to take it or not. When a syndicate member is in a leadership syndicate member is in the leadership position, they have a very low chance to appear in your maps compared to other members. It can be problematic if important members like Ashling are in that position and you want to move them or increase their rank. This Atlas passive helps solve that problem. Yeah, for sure, effective leadership is quite needed for you to have. Test of Loyalty, the most important betrayal passive that makes syndicate members gain an additional rank. Yeah, that's for sure. +1 to rank is just needed. Lethal Extraction. So the passive allows you to enter safe houses more often by gathering extra intelligence when executing members. The amount of gathered intelligence equals to 2 times their rank when executing. So yeah, you really you probably want to have it because it will just give you more sustained access to the content. Pillage and Plunder increases the rarity. This is not a very useful passive because most of the profit from betrayal comes from safe houses. So just as I was saying, Pillage and Plunder and the Bribery are not like the best provides additional intelligence towards safe houses, but like yeah, Bribery bargain can be quite good. So yeah, Pillage and Plunder is the worst out of them. So yeah, scaling loot multipliers. Betrayal has very limited options when it comes to scaling because yeah, everything goes from safe houses, so you cannot really modify it with scarabs. Which again, now when it comes to the scarabs of Betrayal itself. So Betrayal scarab guarantees that the map contains June. This can save you some points on Atlas. If you don't want, if you are like okay with just using scarabs and not 100%ing the spawn rate of Betrayal from your Atlas talent tree and you want to farm something else as well. Betrayal Scarab or of Allflame provides a 75% increased number of monster packs substituted by Allflame Embers in area. This doesn't provide any benefits. Yeah, this is for people who use Allflames that you probably will sell because you are not running Allflames because you're farming Allflames from Betrayal. Then Betrayal Scarab of Reinforcements. If you encounter a single syndicate member, you cannot execute it to increase its rank. This scarab greatly increases the chance that the syndicate members are accompanied by reinforcements, which significantly ramps up your progression. So syndicate members in area have 50% increased chance to be accompanied. Yeah, this is very good for you. This will just like speed up your progression, but it again, it can depend on the on just the price of the scarab. Let's be honest. Betrayal Scarab of Perpetuation. This scarab makes syndicate members have a chance to drop an additional scarab on defeat. The amount of scarabs generated this way is not significant, so use it only if you have a free slot. So yeah, because only have a 50% chance to drop 1 additional scarab. If you were to compare it to some rewards from even like Legion, where scarabs are just showering, it's not as much, which means that yeah, it's not the best one. So yeah, with map choice, to be honest, I'm not as familiar with the types of maps that you want to run Betrayal in, but because they have types of locations that may be more efficient to farm, it's quite logical that there are some maps that are better. So Ashenwood, Dunes, and Strand. Strand is long but linear map. You wouldn't miss any syndicates. Dunes, very open map with straightforward layout. Yeah, because and Dunes are very popular in general. And Ashenwood has a very small layout, so you shouldn't have any issues. But just in general, as you can see here, everywhere you're just it is required for you to find these syndicates as fast as possible and not to miss out on them. Yeah, that's like that's it. Now, here are the drops you can expect after clearing the safe house. Present safe house provides a room with rewards dependent on the member of their rank. Every safe house leader has a chance to drop Veiled Chaos Orb and unique item. The most valuable is Paradoxica, yes, and patch 3.26 rework what kind of rewards each syndicate member. Okay, so we've talked about the rewards, veiled items. For sure, not every single veiled item will be useful. These items generally don't have any value, with the exception being the first few days. Yes, so It is more of a solo self-found thing that can be useful, and the mastermind with all the loot from the mastermind itself. So yeah, this is the guide from the max roll. Yet again, it kind of gives you additional direction, and I'm gonna link the trees for Syndicate with different with some other mechanics tied to it in the pinned comment below the video. So yeah, if you liked the video, then for sure subscribe to the channel, because there's gonna be more content like this. Hope you're having a good time, and goodbye.